Hello. Today, this is a Sunday school class, and I'm here with me and Ben. Can you say hi?
Hi.
And Charlie.
Hello.
So, today I'm going to give you a chance to see one another as you've never seen one another before. In fact, you may never see one another this way again. I'm going to show you how to get all worked up. We'll take it step by step, but first you have to learn two very important signals. When I hold up my hands and shake them like this, that is your signal to get all worked up. But when I clap 3 times and rest my hands like this, that is your signal to chill out. To chill out, you just have to kind of relax. Yep, just relax. Let yourself turn to rubber, and you just, yeah. Now, to get all worked up, you're just going to kind of do a little dance, Charlie will show you how to do a little dance.
What?
Ben will show you how to do a little dance. Do a little dance. Yep, so that is what you will do. When I give the signal to get all worked up, which is this, again, then you'll do your little dance like Ben showed you. So we're going to do a little practice. And then as soon as I do the clapping 3 times, that is when you are going to chill out and kind of relax, Okay. So we are going to practice this. Ben, you're supposed to do a little dance. Okay, so, yeah, we're going to try again. Oh, I forgot it. You guys are supposed to keep dancing. You have to chill out. All right, we're going to try one more time. All right, good job. So one of the people in our Bible story today got seriously worked up. So I hope you'll put your best effort into this. I also hope you'll put your best effort into chilling out, because the other character in our story was calm and serene. All right, here is a test run. What will you do when I do this? Yes, you'll get all worked up. Now what will you do when I do that? You'll chill out. Good job. So we're gonna do this a little bit of times. Okay, good job. So now you're going to take a very deep breath and then exhale, which means let your breath out. And then let your head fall forward, then slowly and gently roll it toward your left shoulder. Left. Like that. And then your right shoulder. Now take another deep breath. And let your breath out. And then, when you feel very relaxed, sit up. And then, sit up. Now, which one did you prefer? Being all worked up like this? Or chilling out? God made each of us different. Some of us like to go, go, go and not slow down for a minute. Others have a less high-energy personality and enjoy doing things that are calm and quiet. Most people probably like a little of both, quiet times and rowdy times. Turn to a partner or just anyone there and tell which kind of person you are. Active, quiet, or a little of both. Ben, are you active, quiet, or a little of both? Very active, aren't you? What about you, Charlie?
A little of both.
Yeah. Cool. So, today we're going to learn that God wants us to be at peace. Our Bible story is about a woman who was trapped in hyper mode, and because her sister was the quiet type, the hyper sister became really frustrated. So frustrated, in fact, that she tried to get Jesus on her side. Can you imagine having Jesus settle a squabble between you and your brother or sister? Let's find out what happened. So, we're going to have Charlie be Martha, and I'm going to read the role of Mary.
We're a fortunate family, I can tell you that. When Jesus comes to our little village, do you know where he stays? At our house. I live here in Bethany with my brother Lazarus and my sister Mary. When Jesus comes to town, there's so much to be done. You realize, of course, that he brings his best friends with him. There are Peter, James, John, Matthew, and, well, you know, the rest of the 12. Do you have any idea how much those men eat? Of course, I am known as the best hostess in Bethany. I brush my grilled fish with just a bit of olive oil and sprinkle on just the right herbs. None of that fishy taste, you know. And my roasted lamb, it just melts in your mouth. My fig cake, oh, just let it be said that there isn't a single neighbor who hasn't asked me for the recipe.
We're so honored that Jesus comes to stay with us. Think of it. The Messiah we've waited for all these years chooses our house to rest in. When he's here, he fills the house with love. Every word that he speaks seems to go straight to my soul. I understand things that I never thought I could, and yet there are so many things I don't understand. I want to stay close and catch everything Jesus says. Missing a single word will be like dropping a jewel and letting it roll into the mud. I wish I could explain what a privilege it is to sit and listen to the Son of God. I wish I could share the experience with you.
You know, the longer we know Jesus, the more people he seems to bring with him. It's only natural. Everyone wants to see him, touch him, be healed. But can you imagine what it's like to try to run a household in the midst of all that? Fortunately, our friends and neighbors help us. They bring in food, invite some of the disciples to stay at their homes, that kind of thing. I don't know what I'd do without them, because I certainly don't get much help from my sister Mary. Why, when Jesus gets here, she just kind of goes into a daze. She sits dreamily at his feet, not noticing how much there is to do.
Jesus is here again. I'm so glad. I've had the strangest feeling lately that he's not going to be with us much longer. There's a sadness about him today, as if he's struggling with what's ahead. I don't understand why he would struggle. After all, he is the Son of God. He can do anything, but he knows that something is about to happen, something that will be difficult for him. I'm sure of it. I can just see the sadness in his eyes. I'm glad he's come to us. He can find some peace and quiet here among his closest friends. I'll stay right here close behind him. Who knows when we'll get to see him again?
Well, this is just the outside of enough. I have all these people to feed, including the Lord himself. And what does Mary do? She sits there. Sits! Can you believe it? I've worn myself to a frazzle. I've had to organize the food that's coming in from the neighbors. There are extra sleeping mats to be gathered and our best dishes to be put out for the meal. I started cleaning this morning as soon as it was light and barely had the house ready when Jesus arrived. Someone has to get fruit at the market, and I still have bread to bake. Do you think little Miss Mary might at least start the fire? No, she sits by Jesus as if she's the queen of the scene. I'm going to say something.
So Martha is complaining about how Mary does not do very many things. If she goes and talks to Jesus about it, how do you think Jesus will respond?
He'll probably say, this is not my concern. You two need to work it out.
Maybe.
It's just what she does.
Okay, cool. What do your parents do if you're angry with your brother or sister?
I have no idea.
Ben, what do mom and dad do when you're angry with me or Charlie?
Well, when I'm angry with Charlie, my dad just gets it to come out, but sometimes Mom just stops Charlie from being annoying because I'm always mad from him being annoying.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. We're going to see what Jesus did. So, I'm going to read the Bible story. I'm gonna read the Bible story about it. Actually, I don't happen to have the Bible story today.
Maybe you guys can look it up in your own Bible.
It's Luke chapter 10 verses 41 to 42. Wait, never mind. I do have it. Sorry. Okay. So, Jesus was evidently a frequent and welcome visitor at the Bethany home of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Imagine the flurry of activity the Lord's visits must have caused, for he brought with him his disciples and any number of extraneous followers. All these folks needed to be fed and given beds at night. Hospitality was given without reservation, but not without a fair amount of wear and tear. I think. I don't really know.
I think it's weird.
Okay. Martha stomped grim-faced through the house, seeing to all the important things that occupy a competent hostess, as Mary sat serenely at Jesus' feet, drinking in his teaching, reveling in his presence. Can you see Martha wiping a trickle of sweat, tucking back a stray hair, and then letting out a deep sigh of frustration as she approached Jesus with her complaint about her unhelpful sister? How she must have cringed at Jesus' rebuke, and to be caught by a gospel writer who recorded her fake past for generations of Christians to learn from. Aren't you glad it wasn't you? And couldn't it well have been you any number of times in your life? Who could blame Martha after all? Wasn't she seeing to everyone's needs, serving as Christ taught us to serve? Yes, but Jesus very clearly placed a higher value on Mary's single-minded devotion to him. Jesus commended the peaceful sister and hushed the harried one. How many times have we let ourselves be consumed by the tyranny of the moment, and we should have been sitting quietly at the feet of Jesus, basking in his peace? So why do you think Jesus responded the way that he did? Okay, neither one of them know. I think it is because he knew that Mary was listening to him and wanted Martha to calm down for a little bit. How do you think his words made Martha feel?
Probably sad or embarrassed.
Yeah, embarrassed probably.
Or annoyed.
What was Martha doing wrong?
She wasn't listening to Jesus.
She was very hyper about taking care of things around the house instead of caring about what Jesus was saying. What was Mary doing right?
She was listening to Jesus.
Yep. The problem was that Martha let herself get all worked up. All she could think about was everything that had to be done. That seemed more important than spending time with Jesus. Martha lost her sense of peace because of her busyness. She didn't take time to put Jesus first. Mary, on the other hand, treasured every second with her Lord. She sat peacefully at Jesus' feet, and that pleased Jesus more than all of Martha's work. God wants us to be at peace and to put him first, whether we're sitting quietly like Mary or serving actively like Martha. So, what can we learn about this story today?
You don't have to clean and cook and all that if Jesus is at your house.
We learned that it is good to spend time with Jesus, and then it's bad to be too busy for Jesus. What does this story teach us about serving others?
You don't want to be too busy if you're ignoring Jesus.
It's bad to let yourself get out of control, and it's good to serve others, but with the right attitude. When do you guys tend to get too busy and hyper? When you do things outside of school, or
personally, my opinion is I don't get too busy, but I get too hyper.
How do you think we can be more like Mary and less like Martha?
Well, we could not have a big house and not have loads of people over.
We can spend more time with reading Jesus' words and not by letting ourselves get too busy. Our lives are much busier and noisier than our great-grandparents' lives were. Because of fast food and cell phones and the internet, We can cram much more into our days than people could 60 or 70 years ago. But God designed us with a need for quiet time with Him. God wants us to be at peace. How would your life be different if you had no devices or electronics or anything like the internet?
It would be very different because I would read a lot of books and I'd probably know a lot more than I do now.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd be bored because we wouldn't have unlimited books.
Yeah.
I would be kind of bored too, but not really bored at school because I can draw a lot.
It would be a lot harder to learn at school because a lot of the learning, and a lot of the kids are online for school. So if we didn't have that, then a lot of kids couldn't be in school.
Yeah. We can't sit at Jesus' feet as Mary did, but how can we spend time with God?
We can pray. We can spend time in church.
Yeah, we can go to church and we can read the Bible. At the times that you felt God's presence, what kinds of things were you usually doing?
Praying.
Yeah.
Listening to the sermon at church.
The third fruit of the Spirit Paul mentions is peace. Mary was at peace. Martha was not. If Mary could come here today to tell us how to be at peace, what do you think she might say?
Don't do chores.
No. Sit. Yeah.
Stay calm. Don't stress.
She might say, spend quiet time with God, or don't let not as important things take over your life. So we learn to not be, we have to be at peace with God, and we can't be, bless you, Ben, we can't be too worked up all the time or too busy. We have to find times to be with God, or to, go to church and pray, and there's always a time to be with God, and we can't let ourselves get worked up over little things like chores. Yes, still do chores because
It's what your parents want.
yeah, do what your parents want.
And one of the 10 Commandments is listening to your parents, I think.
Well, be more like Mary than Martha, and don't get worked up over things that are small or not as important as
Little
God.
thing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Done?
yes, have a good day or night or whatever time it is. All right. Goodbye.